So happy to be making this because it really goes to the heart of these topics that we discuss in my channel regarding narcissism. It's how and why do we attract narcissists, and how on earth do we stop it? How do we stop attracting these people into our lives when it's unwanted, when we know it's toxic, when we know it's not good for our overall health? And what do we do to stop it? Have you ever ended a relationship with this person? Have you ever had to completely end a relationship with an individual because of their selfish behavior? Do you have any clear boundaries that you enforce daily with this person? Or do you feel like your boundaries are constantly being crushed, being walked over, being trampled on? Do you put up with letting a person devalue you and make you feel like your self-worth is lower than what it really is? And do you make excuses for their bad behavior? Do you constantly say, oh, well, maybe they're just having a bad day. Maybe it was a tough day at work. Oh, they're having family issues right now. If these situations that I just outlined seem vaguely familiar and somewhat similar to things you've experienced, this video may be a help to you. To begin with, first and foremost, there's two things I want to outline in this video. If you've made it this far, then more than likely you feel like this does apply to you in some way. You may need to reevaluate and rethink the boundaries and standards that you put in place with relationships overall in your personal life. Do not beat yourself up, but think of this very, very carefully. You may be giving people too many chances in your life, giving them way too long to stay in your life. Why do we attract narcissists? Why do some people attract them and other people don't? Let's get into it today. Now, I'm going to drop some bombs on you, some real knowledge that you guys are probably going to be like, are you kidding me? That's the reason why? But hear me out on this. Big, very big reason, I would say the biggest reason for people attracting narcissists into their lives. You're going to be surprised when you hear this. We attract narcissists because we're attracted to narcissists. Crazy, right? Let's go over a couple really common reasons why you're attracted to the narcissist. Number one, probably the biggest one that I've seen from other interactions with other people is our upbringing, right? We are raised a certain way. We've seen relationships play out in our own personal lives, and we all think that these things are normal. These are our realities in a lot of ways. Our reality is what is normal to us. And when we see dysfunction, when we see sometimes abusive relationships play out, we know it's wrong in our minds, but in our minds, that's all we know. That's all we've seen. So certain behaviors, as far as overcompensating, trying to make people happy, trying to fix situations, that comes from our early development, our childhood, what we grew up with. If you were going through something with your family or a divorce or anything that was traumatic, a breakup, then maybe there was a point in your life where you felt out of control. You felt like if you could just do more and do more and do more, that somehow the situation would be better, that you could somehow heal everything, make everyone happy, and that would be how everything just magically works better in your favor, right? But that's not the truth, right? Sometimes we overcompensate for things that we're missing in our personal lives. And I find that our upbringing is a huge, huge thing that really impacts how we see relationships, who we look for in a partner. And that's something that you really need to think about. If your upbringing was a certain way, do you think that you're kind of putting things into a person that you missed out on in your childhood? Maybe traits that you feel are similar to something you experienced growing up? Think about that. And they make you feel special. Let's be honest, when a narcissist is love bombing you and making you feel like the queen you feel like you are, and just, you know, spoiling you with love and attention, it feels really, really good. And then when they pull all of that back, because, you know, they like to give it sometimes, and then other times they'll withhold it, you feel like, I have to overcompensate, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to give into all their needs, all their wants, and just completely overcompensate in order to get that love back. That love that I love to feel. I love to feel that void and make myself feel so much better and feel so loved. But you are allowing them to essentially use that to control you. You love to feel special. You love to feel those feelings of love. But essentially it's control. As soon as you feel loved, they'll pull it back until they get what they want, and then they'll give it back to you. And when things don't go their way, they'll pull it back, and then they'll love bomb you. They'll make you feel loved again. And the last one is oftentimes narcissists will crave attention. They'll crave that spotlight on them all the time. And if you're a giver, like a lot of people are, you would want to give that attention because you love to give. You love to give love. You are a loving, caring person, so that's natural to you. And you've been probably looking for a match that you can just give your love to. But what happens in that case is they absorb all that love. They absorb it like a sponge, but instead of giving that love back, they keep absorbing. And until you're completely used up and just dry as a bone, no love to give, then they discard you. They throw you away because you're no longer a valuable source to them. But that's pretty much why we do love to give them attention. Because when we give them attention, we're getting attention back. We're their favorite thing. They love to be around us. But it's only because we're giving them something that they need. Something they need to feel good themselves. And as soon as that runs dry, and as soon as it's over, you have nothing else to give because you've already given so much and gotten very, very little in return, then you're gone. They discard you because you're no longer a valuable source to them. I wanted to go really in deep with the why as to why we attract these people. Any of these things are very, very obviously happening in your life. Logically, you need to know, why is this happening? How is it happening? And how do I fix it? How do I change this dynamic? The final step here, how do we stop it? How do we kick this to the curb and stop this from happening? It's tough, but this is the best part of the video for this reason, because we're learning how to stop these things from happening in our lives. First and foremost, stick to your must-haves. If you have anything that is non-negotiable in your life, stick to it. Do not allow someone and what they're doing to move you from what you are non-negotiable on. I've seen it so many times where people lose that moral compass, that part of them that makes them who they are, makes them happy, makes them have a solid foundation to stand on as of what they're not going to compromise on. That's a very big thing. Do not compromise for said narcissist. Go at your own pace. Now this is so underrated. I feel like we all kind of rush relationships and go at the pace that someone else wants to go to. A narcissist is always going to want to go at their own pace. You're not going to push a narcissist to do things on anything but their schedule. So it's always going to be on their terms. Biggest thing for me out of these 3 steps is to go at your own pace. If you're not ready to move something forward, if you're not ready to be so in depth in love with someone, if you're not ready to, put your dreams, all of your feelings on hold, don't do it. The biggest one, number 3, this is the toughest one in this video, so please bear with me. It's hard, I know, but this is the biggest one. Reevaluate and really try to understand your past trauma and your codependent tendencies. We have either past traumas or codependent tendencies, or a little bit of both, that make us feel like we have to be with someone like this. Someone a narcissist is. Someone who completely takes everything you have and will casually discard you when you have nothing left to give. Let's think about this logically again. If we do not really do the work on ourselves and we don't reevaluate how we feel and what drives us to be with people like this, we will never be able to break that cycle. It takes really hard work. It takes a lot of dedication, and it takes a lot of introspective time to think about those cycles and to heal yourself, man. Like, heal yourself first. It's hard. It's hard work. But that's the only way you'll be able to stop the narcissist from actually being attracted to you and doing the damage they do. Now, this is it. That's the last step. I really wanted to get through this in a way that kind of seems bullet pointed and very, very concise, but I hope this was really helpful to you guys in figuring out the why, the how, and how the heck to get out of this situation. So if you guys did enjoy this video, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one.